And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, February 26th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down just a 4-game slate. We are starting off the week with an easy one. And DraftKings is running back the $4 100K to first 100,000 entry contest today. So everybody, I assume, is in for tonight's slate. 2 7 o'clock starts, an 8 o'clock start, and then the late night hammer Miami-Sacramento game coming in at 10. If you had a good weekend, hit that like button. If you didn't have a good weekend, also hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. What's good, everybody? Good morning. Nice to see chat. We're back for today, coming off of the weekend. Last night's slate was yuck. It's not good. Go Jokic, though. That seemed to go well for him. Less so for me. We'll take what we can get. But we're back today to break it all down. Another full week. You guys know the drill. We don't do anything different here. It's process. It's contenders. It's prize picks. It's strategy. It's deeper dive. Playback later tonight. Don't know if I'm going to be there or not. Probably will be. At least for a little bit. We'll see what we've got going on later today. Oh. Good stuff, though. So good morning, everybody. Happy to see everybody here. 4 games. This should be pretty easy. Knicks, Pistons. We've got the Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks revenge narrative game. Of Evan Fournier revenge narrative game. Raptors, Pacers. We've got the Pascal Siakam / everybody else involved in that deal. Revenge game. Brooklyn, Memphis is really unappealing. Should be fine. Hit that thumbs up, everybody. Let's do it. Let's get into it. I got nothing left to say. I got nothing left in my little soliloquy. We need to just get out and start talking some basketball. That's all I got. Let's talk about basketball. Oh, yeah, Grimes. There we go. Cheers, everybody. I've got a coffee here. If you've got one, that would be great. If you don't have a coffee, if you got tea, water, beer, food, joints, however you start the day, start it with me with the cheers. So cheers. Too hot. Too hot. Way too hot. But that's fine. We've got basketball to talk about. We are going to do that right now. First game up, New York Knicks. I definitely answered that line wrong because no matter what is happening, there's no chance the Knicks are 11-point dogs. They are clearly... Wait. Hold on. Where is this game? This game's in New York. How is it in my schedule as in Detroit? Huh. Did they change the location of this game at some point? This game's in New York, right? How is it in my schedule the opposite way? That's bizarre. And this game starts at 7:30. So this game moved locations and times. Well, let's flip that around because that matters. All right, bang. Well, that's not the game we're starting with. We're starting with Toronto, 6.5-point dogs in Indy, 245 total. There's a little flippy flop there. Toronto, everybody that's normally in is in. Pacers on a back-to-back don't have an injury report, so we'll be able to figure it out as we move along. So let's start it out on this Toronto side. Last time that I projected Toronto, we got Jordan Nwora in that RJ Barrett spot. That did not go well for the Jordan Nwora players. So let's go ahead and reproject this rotation. assuming that we get RJ Barrett back. And since he's not on the injury report, I think we could feel pretty good about it. So we'll start off 33 minutes for Emmanuel quickly. We'll get Jakob Poeltl in for 27. That seems okay. And then we're going to get Gary Trent in for 30. We get RJ Barrett in for 33. And we get Scotty Barnes in for 35. Good start. Next, Bruce Brown. 25 probably. 26. That seems okay. Grady Dick, Kelly Olynyk, Ochai Agbaji. They are going to be the other three dudes that need minutes. Olynyk is going to get 19. That piece is easy. Grady Dick is... let's go this way. Grady Dick is in for 19. That leaves me 19 for Agbaji. Now, am I giving Agbaji 19 minutes? No, I am not. He's going to get, call it 14. I will hide my final 5 minutes on Jordan Nwora. We do need to grab rates for this Toronto team. So we're going to try to do this one the full way. So let's put Olynyk, Poeltl, Bruce Brown, Gary Trent, RJ Barrett. We'll include Jordan Nwora. Quickly, Agbaji, Barnes. We want at least 4 of those dudes on the floor at any time. All right. Barnes has a 22.5% usage rate in that time. Emmanuel quickly is at 21.5 or 21.25. Gary Trent around 17. Very low. Whoa. Very low. Barrett is at 25 and change. We want to get Bruce Brown, who is basically in for like 14. And then we get Jake Puddle in for like 18.5. Final guy would be Kelly Olynyk. Lock something like that in. Interesting team. We're going to have to look at rates too. Or sorry, props. Props is the word I'm looking for. Barnes is at 20.5 for real points. Juice to the over. I have 19.4 when I gave him 22.5 usage. So let's think about how we can make some changes to that usage. I guess they just don't have that. I mean, honestly, I kind of trust it. 51% true shooting, 22.5% usage. I guess I'll take him to 23, but I don't want to go too far there. I don't really trust Barnes. RJ Barrett is 20.5 juice to the under. So I'm a little bit heavier on Barrett, a little bit lower on Barnes. Emmanuel quickly is at 18.5. We're good there. Trent's at 11.5. We're good there. Poeltl at 11.5. A little heavy on Jakob Poeltl, which doesn't really surprise me. We'll bring him down a bit. Bruce Brown, 10.5. Oh, way light on Bruce Brown. And then Grady Dick should be around 9. Yeah, we're all good there. Assist rates are probably interesting. Barnes should be around 7 assists, so I might need to bump that, but I'm guessing when I look at his assist rate, I'm not going to see that. No, I do. I do see it. Let's bump up Scotty Barnes' assist rate. Let's dramatically bump up Emmanuel Quickly's assist rate. Is Quickly's assist prop 5.5? It is. Perfect. Barrett is sub 3. Not going to have to worry about anybody else there. And then rebounding rate, I can't imagine is moving. Ron, I have no idea. I don't know what I ever have before I swap or after I swap to know that it would have mattered. But yeah, I'm sure both of those things. All right, so we've got Toronto in. We hop to Indy. Now for Indy, there's not much we can do here other than just look over their previous two rates. They played yesterday. We did get Jalen Smith back as the backup center. He and Miles Turner split 45 minutes. Final 3 minutes went to Isaiah Jackson. Was that blowout run? They won by 20, so the expectation would be yes, and it was. So Isaiah Jackson and Walker weren't in the rotation. They did have a 10-man rotation with normal starters, Smith, McConnell, Shepard, Toppin, McDermott. So rates are going to stay the same for me here on Indy, but minutes I want to redo. So we'll start with Miles Turner. I think we get him in for 28. And then I think we get Jalen Smith in for 17. I'll probably just hide 3 minutes on Isaiah Jackson. Then we can get Pascal Siakam in for 33 minutes. We can get Tyrese Halliburton in for 33 minutes. We can get Andrew. Let's get McConnell in for 15 plus a couple extra. Then we can get Nembhard in for 31. Obviously, we don't have Nesmith in this spot, so we'll get Benedict Mathurin in for 30. We get Obi Toppin in for a little bit of backup run. And then we need Ben Shepard, who I'll give 14 minutes to. I'll also give 14 to McBuckets and hide another minute on Isaiah Jackson. Rates can all stay the same here for Indy. Now, as we look at this first game, nothing amazing coming out of Toronto, which is a shame given the matchup, given Indiana's defense, given the pace. I think Scotty Barnes is the best option you can get from Toronto. I think then you're looking at either Quickly or Barrett. It's going to be easier to roster Barrett, and then Jakob Poeltl will be your fourth. But all three of those guys look pretty similar. It's like a sneak tip on like Kelly Olynyk in 4,600, but the fact that he doesn't have power forward eligibility really limits you. So I think it's going to be Barnes as your best option coming out of Toronto. And then for Indy, certainly like Halliburton and Siakam. You have Smith and Turner playing off of each other. Smith having power forward really helps. Easier to get to Turner. Then you have Mathurin. So if we're working our way through Indy, it's probably Siakam 1, Halliburton 2, Turner 3, Mathurin 4. Although Mathurin will be very easy to roster. But like Andrew Nembhard's okay. Jalen Smith is okay. A lot more to like on Indy than we have on Toronto. Now, for game 2, Pistons 11-point dogs in New York. I'm sure this one will look awesome. Just kidding. It will look awful. Detroit coming off of a 3-point loss to Orlando. On the Detroit side, no Marcus Sasser, no beef stew for the suspension. On the Knicks side, no Anunoby, Randall, or Mitchell. So we have Marcus Sasser out already. We have Isaiah Stewart out already, which means that we're really just looking at this from a most recent rotation perspective. I actually want to pull, the rates can all stay. I do want to pull minutes though. We can get the main dudes first. So Cade's going in for 32. Ivy's going in for 32. We're going to get Asar Thompson in for 27. We're going to get Fontecchio in for 29. We'll get Duran in for 31. We get Wiseman backing him up. That part's all very easy. Malachi Flynn is going to get backup point guard run, you would imagine, especially with no Sasser. I guess Shake Milton could get it. We need to get Quentin Grimes a decent chunk of playing time. Let's get Grimes to, let's see, off the bench, Grimes played 26. I think 25 is going to work pretty well here. And then, did they split? Do they go small at all? Wiseman 15.2, Duran 32.8. They split all 38. 30.2, 17.9. They split all 38. Kind of makes me want to go a little bit heavier to these guys. If I go 16 to Wiseman, I'm going to get Wiseman. We don't really want that. So we're going to hide 2 minutes on Muscala, which I think will help here. Then we need to split 32 minutes between Troy Brown and Evan Fournier. I don't want to go 16-16, so I'm going to go 18 Fournier, 14 Troy Brown. Rates should all stay the same. Can't imagine anybody from Detroit's going to look good here. Just matchup against New York is so wildly unappealing. Now for the Knicks, pretty well standard issue stuff for what we've had as of late. They're coming off the 14-point loss to Boston. We kind of know what these guys are doing. Hartenstein was able to get to 24 minutes. Have to assume 24 is in the cards again. So let's get him in for 24. Jericho Sims backed up a bunch of that. And then for some of that point, it was Precious. So let's get Sims in for his like pretty standard 14, 16. Let's go 16. And then we can get Precious in for 38. We can get 38 in for Jalen Brunson. That actually feels like it should be 37 in this spot. So we'll go 37. I'm also going to go 37 on Precious. Shouldn't be as competitive, you know. Now, DiVincenzo played 32. Seems like they're playing him a little bit less now. I'm going to go 34 to DiVincenzo. We can continue to get 38 of Josh Hart. Now we need 23 for Boyan, 20 for Alec Burks, and I have 11 left for Miles McBride. Rates all stay the same. This is about as easy as it gets. So, for the Pistons, yeah, they don't look good. It's Quentin Grimes and nobody else as like anybody that we're going to even try to get to. I mean, like, Ivy's fine, Duran's fine, Cade's fine. Pistons look pretty bad. 106 implied total is going to be the lowest implied total by a lot today. I mean, the other option is Memphis, I believe. Miami will be close too. But Memphis is at 106.5, even with a game total 9 points lower, which is gross to think about. Now, on the Knicks end, they get the Pistons. So, I am once again going to be very heavy on Jalen Brunson, who I'm guessing I have a points prop on that's like 3 points higher than it's supposed to be. Jalen Brunson's points prop for today is 31.5. I have him at 32.1. Okay, what's his assist prop? I have 6.9. 7.5. Nope. All right. So I don't even think it's just me. Jalen Brunson it's not even close. He's the best option that we're looking at today, even at 9,700. Best thing we've seen so far is Brunson. But $6,500 Josh Hart, $7,100 Dante DiVincenzo, $7K Precious Achiuwa. Those four guys are the only guys that you can get to from the Knicks. I mean, like, you can play Fontecchio, too smooth, but I don't think that he looks very good today. He's just a guy on this slate. Yeah, you can see Brunson is like 4 points ahead of Tyrese Halliburton for me right now, which looks really good. And then you've got Halliburton, Barnes, Siakam, then Turner, DiVincenzo, Hart. But yeah, like, I have of the first 4 games, I have Fontecchio ranked 18th. He won't even really be a talking point for today's slate for me. Let's get to game 3. This one should be just truly disgusting. Brooklyn Nets, 1.5 point favorites in Memphis, 214 total. This is a just dreadful, dreadful experience for both teams. For Brooklyn, Ben Simmons is questionable. For Memphis, I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. Brooklyn's last game was a 15-point drubbing from Minnesota. You'd think they would want to make some changes. Who knows? I do feel like I want to reproject their rotation, but at the same time, I don't really feel like that. So let's take a look at everybody. Simmons in for 22. Sure. Don't really care about Day'Ron Sharpe. Bridges minutes are the same as they always are. Probably going to give Schroeder 2 more minutes. Dorian Finney-Smith can probably get a couple extra minutes. I don't know why Cam Johnson is playing as little as he does, but that keeps happening for reasons that make no sense. Cam Thomas can probably grab 1 more minute. I'm okay with what I have here for Brooklyn. And I know that these rates are where we want them to be. I updated these guys recently. So then we go to Memphis. Just going to delete it now and start trying to figure it out after the fact because it's a different team every day. Memphis last played against the Clippers, lost by 6 on the 23rd. So let's get the mainstays in first. Jaren Jackson in for 32. Santi Aldama in for 28. Vince Williams in for 35. Those pieces always feel the best. They went with Luke Kennard, Zaire Williams at the 1 and, I guess, depending on what you want to call Vince Williams. So let's get Zaire in for 30. And let's get Luke Kennard in for 26. We did get Jake LaRavia back in the rotation last time, which I kind of figured would happen. I believe Lamar Stevens was the Jaren Jackson direct backup. He was. So straight backup center run for Lamar Stevens. I'm going to keep that. And then I think we get LaRavia, similar story. LaRavia played almost 17 minutes. I'm going to take Aldama to 27. I'm going to get Jake LaRavia in for 17. And then we can get Gigi Jackson in for 26. Jordan Goodwin just got the contract. He got a full DNP last time out. That's fun. We'll get Derrick Rose in for 14. That leaves us 17 minutes for what I would imagine is John Conchar. Right? Because Goodwin wasn't out, right? He just got a DNP. Conchar's out. Conchar's out. Left thumb sprain. All right, come on down. Jordan Goodwin. Just like I expected. I don't know. I'm just it's so hard to look at the Memphis Grizzlies injury report and remember what's real and what's not real. 17 for Jordan Goodwin might be too high. So we're going to take 1 minute off of him so he doesn't show up like he matters. We'll hide that on Derrick Rose, actually. I'm afraid to see this, but I hope the total just makes it so it doesn't look good. Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so good. Brooklyn doesn't look good at all. They look like Bridges looks solid. Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton looks solid, but they look more like Detroit, where we're really not going to be getting to these guys. But Bridges at 7,200. He continues to be around a fantasy point per minute, dude. He should thrive in a matchup against Memphis. The whole game looks terrible. Now, the Memphis side is a little bit better. Triple J is 7,900. That is too cheap for him. He's the second best play we've looked at. And then you step a little bit further back and get Gigi Jackson at 4,900 and Zaire Williams at 4,700. Aldama okay, Kennard okay. But Triple J looking really good and should be in. This is a great spot for him. If we add game 3, yeah, we see Brunson at the top. Now you got Jaren Jackson Jr., about 2 points behind him relative to salary. Then you get that pack of Halliburton, Barnes, Siakam. Bridges now hopping into the number 9 spot, but we obviously have another game to go. But Detroit looking really bad. I mean, Quentin Grimes, highest ranked guy, he's 17th. Fontecchio now down to 25th. We get to the final game. Miami Heat. 7.5 point underdogs in Sacramento, 225 total. Jimmy Butler out for the suspension. Thomas Bryant suspended. Jovic suspended. Hero questionable. Orlando Robinson questionable. Rozier questionable. Duncan Robinson available. Jay Rich out still. And then for Sacramento, they're on a back-to-back, but that shouldn't be too bad. Either way, we know that we need to reproject this entire Miami team. And they're going to need new rates. So, we have to assume that Tyler Hero is playing. We have to assume also that Terry Rozier is playing. So I'm going to go 30 minutes to Terry Rozier. We're going to get 33 in for Tyler Hero. We're going to get 35 for Bam Adebayo. Kevin Love, backup center, plus a little something extra. We'll get Haywood Highsmith in for 21. We'll get Caleb Martin in for 29. Jaime Jaquez in for 29. We get DeLon Wright, who has not played yet for Miami, but I would imagine is going to play for Miami today. Feels like he could just step in and play 16 minutes. I can get to 28 on Duncan Robinson, and then I can just hide these final 2 minutes on anyone random. Jamal Cain, come on down. Now, rates. This one will be a little tricky, but maybe not too bad. Rozier, Bam, Martin, Robinson, Highsmith, Hero, Jaquez. And all I want to do is make sure Butler is off more than anything, and we'll see if anybody else has a giant chunk of minutes that I got to deal with. J. Rich might complicate matters a little bit here. 26% usage rate to Bam. Jaquez is at 18.5. Duncan Robinson is at 19. Hero is at 27.5. Rozier has only played 74 minutes in this scenario, but he's at 25. That makes sense to me. Final guy I need to grab is Caleb Martin, 15.5% usage. Let's take a look at those rates. All right, points props. Bam is at 21.5, juice to the over. That's exactly where I have him. Hero is at 20.5. That's exactly where I have him. Just going to have to hope that everything else looks good. Only other thing we have are assist props for those two guys. I'm going to take a quick look at those assist rates. Bam gets quite a bit of a bump, and I'll give him that. Heroes doesn't move. Terry Rozier actually did have a pretty sizable assist rate in this scenario, but I can't bump that until later. Bam's assist prop, is it 5.5 to the under? It's way under 4.5. I guess Terry Rozier is probably going to complicate that a little bit. So let's split the difference. Bring it down a notch. Heroes at 4.5. Probably a little light, but I'm okay with it. I think that's going to be Miami for us right now. And then for Sacramento, I'm guessing I don't even move anything. You know, they're on the back-to-back. I guess the Barnacle of the Bay can get an extra minute. I could take one away from Herter. And then Lyles can come down in minutes, and I can bump up Keegan Murray. Murray has played 34, 33.5, 34.5, 34.5, and 37 over the last 5. I'm taking Keegan Murray straight to 34. So I assume today is the Trey Lyles day. Rates don't need to move. Nothing needs to move here for Sacramento. This is pretty standard stuff. This is a hard slate. Because I'd imagine Sacramento doesn't look good. Miami certainly doesn't, other than, for me, Bam. Bam steps up into that upper echelon with Triple J and Brunson. Other than that, I think the only guys you can go to from Miami are Bam, Rozier, and Hero. And even then, like, Rozier and Hero don't look good. I'm really curious what these crunches are going to look like. Sacramento. All right, Sacramento is on a different planet. I got to check Keegan Murray's rates, because if I have Keegan Murray right, he's the best play on today's slate by a mile, just because of his price. Okay, Fox, 23.5 points. Okay, I have this team. So I'm reprojecting everything here. I have to. Even though I feel like I just did this, I got to reproject this entire team. Because if we go by the rates that Sacramento has, then I project Sacramento to be a real problem today. So let's find out. Barnes, Lyles, Sabonis, Fox, Monk, Herter, Murray. That's everybody that matters. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I got to be missing somebody here. I guess I'll add Davion Mitchell, make it 8. Like, this is just such a big sample. Sabonis has played 1,900 minutes with at least 4 of those guys on. He's got a 22% usage rate. If I give him a 22% usage rate, that's a 21-point prop. His point prop is at 20.5, so we're good there. Barnacle of the Bay should be around 15 usage. 11.5 points prop? Yeah, close enough. Keegan Murray has played 1,590 minutes. 18% usage rate. That takes me to 15.5 real points. His points prop is 13. So that leads me to believe that the market isn't as big of a believer in his minutes, but I'm going to keep him at 33. I'm just going to be heavy on Keegan Murray, because I don't see how I would change that. Fox, usage rate, 30.9. But right now, if I give him that 30.9% usage rate, which he has, his points prop is 23.5 juice to the over. I get him at 27.5. He plays 36 minutes a night. I guess I'm going to take 1 minute away from Fox. But again, I'm way heavy on De'Aaron Fox's points prop today. And I don't really see a reason why I would move it. Herder's at 17.5. And then Monk is at 24.3. Herder's points prop is 10.5. I'm at 11.9. I'm just heavy on Sacramento across the board. Now, Fox's assist rate and Sabonis' assist rate will be interesting. If I set Sabonis to his 11.5 per 100 possessions, and I set Fox to his 7, we have an assist prop up for Sabonis of around 9. I only have it to 8, but I can't move that. Fox's should be around 5. I have 4.7. That's fine. Do I have a Keegan Murray rebound prop? Yes, it's around 5. Murray rebound prop. Yeah, like I'm not moving that either. Sabonis I could bump up, which I did. Fox doesn't really rebound. Barnacle doesn't rebound. Oddly enough, Herder and Monk do. That's Sacramento. So I'm going to be very heavy on De'Aaron Fox. However, 1.22 baseline rate, 1.28 over the past 30 days for Fox. That's exactly where I have him. Similarly, 1.58 for Sabonis over the last 30 days. I have him at 1.5. And then Keegan Murray is the guy who hasn't been playing well. 0.72 DraftKings points per minute for Murray as of late. I have him way higher in this spot. I love Sacramento. Fox, Sabonis, and Murray for me are breaking things. I mean, look at this. You get Brunson, top of the list, tied with Sabonis. They're both +2s. You get Fox at +1. Triple J is neutral. And then you get Bam and Keegan Murray. But that right there is your best plays. Let's run some crunches and see what it looks like. Easy show today, folks. 7-10. We're working our way through it. Only 4 games. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't done it yet. Full day of content. I know you guys will enjoy it. So let's grab these rates. Let's see what we have for today. First one up is DraftKings Optimals. What do we have? 266.1. It's the optimal by 0.2. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, Zaire Williams, Gigi Jackson, Jaren Jackson, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox. Murray made all 50. Fox made 90%. Zaire Williams, Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson, Quentin Grimes, all in the 70s. Mathurin and Jalen Smith in the 50s. None of that surprises me at all. Now, when we throw a little randomness on it, let's see what things look like. Only guy north of 10K today is Sabonis, and he is very easy to get to. Made 29%. There's really no problem paying up for anything. You only have 3 guys 9,500 or more today. So Murray in 37% of lineups. Quentin Grimes, Jaren Jackson also in the 30s. Sabonis, Zaire, Fox, Hart, Brunson, Jalen Smith. These guys are all 26, essentially. So it really flattens out there. But we're not all that surprised with what we see at the top. And then Quentin Grimes is simply just a price thing. The fact that Grimes is 3,600 really unlocks your ability to go to the top. This is a very interesting slate given salary, because it's not hard at all to get to Sabonis, Brunson, or Halliburton. And you're going to have at least one of those guys in everything you're building. Too smooth. Is that a real question? Just curious. I didn't know if that's a troll question or not. Yeah, no. Jericho Sims should not be played today. He didn't show up in a single lineup that was crunched. I'd rather go to James Wiseman, and I don't think that's close. Are the minutes there? Jericho Sims played 14 last time out, 18 the game before that. He is a 0.8 at best fantasy point per minute guy. James Wiseman plays the exact same minutes and is a fantasy point per minute guy. You should not be rostering. You should reevaluate the way that you look at any of this if Jericho Sims is a question. I don't want to be mean, but like that's a true statement. If you look at today's 4-gamer and think, I wonder what the status of Jericho Sims is, you're off the. You need to recalculate the GPS because you're going the wrong direction. I think it would be legitimately difficult to roster him. When am I going to start incorporating Odds Shopper into this? I go live for sports betting on either the 10th or the 11th. I can't remember. So once I'm live for sports betting, then I will be. Can't play Fox if you need Siakam and Quigley with Sabonis. I don't think you need Quigley. So that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, this whole thing is going to be changing up a little bit once I get more live on the sports betting side. All right, let's run FanDuel. Let's see if that looks a little different. Will I be doing this for baseball as well? Sort of. Not the same way. It's just, baseball's really hard to talk about because I don't believe in talking about it. Larry, yes. The time is changing. I haven't talked about it. I guess I should probably do it now. This is the last week of 6:30. Ruh-roh. I don't like what's about to happen because obviously you guys are going to get that on like a 6-second delay. So, yeah. Friday will be the last 6:30. $10. Ron. 10. It'll be like the strategy show. FanDuel Optimals. Okay. Yeah, obviously Terry Rozier is the best play. Terry Rozier, a 292.06, optimal lineup by 0.26. Rozier, Brunson, Murray, Quickly, Zaire Williams, all in 90% plus. All in 90% plus. Siakam in 80%. Bam in 50%. Man, FanDuel will be wild today. Quickly at the top of the FanDuel list with Rozier, Zaire Williams, and Keegan Murray, all in the 40s. And then you get Brunson, Grimes, Barnes in the 30s. And then you start flattening out and see everybody be relatively normal on the FanDuel side. From a payout perspective on FanDuel today, 10-8 Sabonis is the only 10K guy. You have 5 9K guys, though. Fox, Halliburton, Brunson, Barnes, and Adebayo. That's where we're at, guys. Easy stuff. 4 games up, 4 games down. I know we have bigger slates coming for the rest of the week. But now we done. Good stuff. It was nice seeing you guys. Easy Monday. Normal stuff coming out shortly. But for now, I am going to get out of here. Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate seeing you. It's the best stuff. But for now, this was The Process.